This is the most amazing day ever.
Stop it. We're not saying that on camera.
As many of you know, Emily and myself have been making YouTube videos on our Overland adventures, on the cars in our garage, and whatever else comes in between. And it's definitely a deep passion of ours. Like, it's something we really like doing, it's something we like sharing with the world, and realistically, we'd love to end up doing this full time. I mean, doing your own thing feels pretty good. That's why today absolutely blew my mind. Two brands that I actually look up to reached out to us on the YouTube channel and said, hey, we like what you're doing. Can we team up with you? And can we support the things you do? I'm always very wary of who comes into the channel, or I'm always very wary of sponsors or affiliate links, but it always feels a little bit different when someone comes and approaches you to be an affiliate. I can't be more excited about these two new partners we have for the channel, ICECO Fridges and DEVOS Outdoor Lighting. Let me tell you why these two are actually super important to me. Lots of times on the channel, I'm very frank with my reviews. If something's completely dog shit, which is something I've said 100 times now, I'll say that it's dog shit. If something is actually worth buying, I'll say it's worth buying. And frankly, I'm looking forward to using these two brands in a very particular way. Overlanding with 3 dogs. Well, there's only 2 in the picture here. The third is somewhere, I don't know, sniffing a bush, but 2 out of the 3 ain't bad. We need stuff that will work for us. Enough of me yapping in my driveway about these products and how excited we are and my backstory. Let me just unbox these bad boys and show you exactly why we chose them. This is the ICECO VL45 PRO S cooler freezer fridge that we got for overlanding. The reason why we got this fridge slash freezer is because it's one of the most efficient fridges and freezers you can get for overlanding, and it's whisper quiet. We already have a fridge. We use an ARB 47 liter, 45 quart, whatever fridge. She thinks it looks good. And so we don't actually need to upgrade. However, we're upgrading because that fridge is a gray fridge. It just eats up way too much of our battery. We don't have a dual battery in our Sequoia yet, and we're running an EcoFlow 700 River Pro to run all of our camp stuff. And oftentimes when we wake up in the morning, our River Pro is down to like 28%, 30% battery after one night of usage in cold PNW climate. And the reason why we chose this one is because of the efficiency, but also I wanted to show you how creative they are with their storage. Most fridges have 1 or 2 baskets and you load it vertically, but this ICECO fridge is a little different. Well, at least different to us. Now, I don't know about every other brand out there, so if your fridge is the same way as this, then heck yeah, because this is freaking awesome. This allows you to store not only horizontally and to have room for the compressor, but also vertically. The basket up here allows us to put all of our frequently used items. Now I put steak there because, well, we don't eat steak every minute, but it looks cool on the top. And it keeps us from rummaging through the fridge. Because we're traveling with 3 dogs, dog food is a premium. Now we cook our dogs dog food. If you have a pit bull or a bully mix, you know that they're allergic to everything. So that's about 2 days worth of dog food for 3 dogs. We're going on a small trip, 2 days right there. But for the items that we're not necessarily using all the time, we can remove this tray and you can access lower items in the fridge. Now this is an absolute game changer. In terms of actual quantity of food, we have tortillas, we have pre-made sandwiches, we have cheese, we have guac, we have mushrooms, we have another sandwich in there, we have kind of like a half pre-made like breakfast hash, and then we have 3, 6, 9, 12, a dozen eggs. So plenty of room, about 4 or 5 meals, and we have room to spare, so we could probably do like 6 different meals. The big thing that we actually wanted is a door that opens on the side, because now we can come in here and grab whatever we need, close the door. Instead of having a door open long ways hitting our storage rack, we can use a fridge that opens all the way up for us to grab whatever we want. And the best part about this lid is if we're coming in from the back, we can open it from that side as well. So like that alone is a huge game changer for us for our fridge situation. Now that we got everything all loaded up, let's continue packing the rig and head out to our next campsite. just got to camp. I am extremely sweaty. Emily's dipping in the water. You can kind of see her over there. And it's around 6:30, which you can't really see on my watch. And this is where we're gonna put the ICECO fridge to the test. Now the reason why this is important for us is because when we park like this at camp, what we do is we plug directly into the EcoFlow. So safe to say, if we get up at 8 in the morning tomorrow, that fridge will be running on the EcoFlow for about 14 hours. We only have a 700 watt-hour EcoFlow. And frankly, if the fridge runs out of juice in the morning overnight, that's not a bad thing. We're leaving tomorrow. But this will give you a good sense of how much power that fridge is drawing overnight. We're gonna go ahead and plug that bad boy in, 6:30 p.m. and we'll check on it in the morning when we wake up and give you an update on how much juice it actually pulled overnight. Another item that I think is a must-have from ICECO to pair with your fridge is the ICECO magnetic spare battery. Now I want to be very clear, this battery will not power your fridge all night. It's not designed to. It's designed to be more of an emergency power pack and a portable 12-volt lithium-ion battery to do whatever you want. The capacity of this battery is 250 watt-hours. So let's do the math, right? So you have the ICECO battery, you have a fridge freezer there, and while the fridge freezer is trying to cool itself, it's pulling 30 watts, maybe even 40 watts. So if you do easy math, let's say 40 watts and 250 watt hours, that's roughly about 6 hours that this can power the fridge. I didn't buy this battery to power the fridge. I have an EcoFlow for this. I bought this battery to power everything around camp that I want to power. So the thing that really turned me on about this is the 12-volt adapter built in. You can't really find lithium-ion power banks this small with a 12-volt plug. And it also has a USB-C and a regular USB-A. USB-C is running at 5 volts, 3 amps. USB-A is running at 5 volts, 2.4 amps. So plenty of power for those of you who use an iCamper or those of you who have inflatable mattresses. She loves to go up in there and inflate the inflatable mattresses of our rooftop tent. And usually what we do is we run a daisy chain from an inflatable mattress cord all the way from up there to the EcoFlow, and we power the mattresses. However, this bad boy is going to be our new mattress inflator battery and whatever we need at camp battery. Instead of unconnecting the EcoFlow, or let's say we have a dual battery system in here, I don't want to run cords all the way inside. I have this 250 watt-hour battery, which will be the ultimate game changer. And this is one of those products that really is a treat to own. On top of that, it's magnetic, so we can stick it to our OVS drawers. I had it stored on the side there. We can store it on here. You can even store it to the side of your fridge while you're off-roading, so you always have a backup power source. And we're gonna move on to our DEVOS lighting and why that's important for camping, especially with 3 dogs. It's time for me to introduce you to the DEVOS Light Ranger 1200. This thing is quite unique in many ways. First and foremost, this scene light comes with a few different settings for you to direct where you want the light. You can see all the panels here. On top of that, it has an optional motion sensor. So let's say you're coming out of your rooftop tent to go to the restroom out there somewhere, you can place your DEVOS way out in the distance. It'll pick you up and it'll automatically turn on the light so you can see. Plus, it'll also let you know if an intruder is coming by. But you can throw it on the ground, you can throw it wherever. Now, the big reason why we went with the DEVOS Light Ranger 1200 and not the big boy or the small boy is because we saw DEVOS at Overland Expo and we saw how well the 1200s lit up camp. In fact, it was at the whiskey party thrown on by Story Till Now and our boy Will, Venture to Rome. And we were like, holy cow, we definitely need to get 1200s. And tonight, we're gonna show you the difference of what happens when you light up camp without your 1200 or with your 1200. And we're gonna set up the light on this side of the rig to show you just how dramatic the lighting can be from one of these bad boys at camp. One of our dogs only has one eye, and he really needs all the lighting he can get. He's 12 years old, doesn't like shadows. So for us, this is not just a luxury item for camp. It is a must-have, especially for our dogs and our boy with one eye. We're gonna wait for the light to go down a little bit more, and we'll show you exactly how much light this bad boy throws out at night. All right, you can see the Light Ranger is on high, but it's at its lowest altitude, and you can see there's already throwing light at camp. Kodak's face is nice and lit up there. You can see the reflection off the rig, and it's actually coming in and lighting up our camp pretty well. You can see it's already throwing a ton of light at camp, and the sun is still out and we're at golden hour. Here is the amount of light that's at camp on the Light Ranger on low height and low power. Now our ISO stayed the same on the camera, but you can really see how much light the DEVOS is throwing at camp. I mean, honestly, Emily and our camp table are almost perfectly lit with that on the low setting. Now let's turn that bad boy up to the high setting so you can see what's going on. We are at the high setting on the low height for the DEVOS Light Ranger. You can not only see it's throwing light at camp, the table, Emily, the rig, the awning, they're all lit up, but also it's throwing light all the way through camp, all the way out here. In fact, you can see my shoes here are actually getting some of the light from the DEVOS Light Ranger on high on the lowest height setting. Now what we're going to do is we're going to do the same thing on the highest height setting with low power and high power. Okay, here's the lowest setting, but on the highest altitude, and you can actually see it's humid enough in the air where you can see the light beam coming down from the corner here to camp and lighting up Emily and the car and Kodak and everything perfectly. Now this for me is like the ideal situation with camping with dogs, because not only can my one-eyed dog Kodak see where he needs to go pee, walk around, in fact look, he's moving around right now, but also it lights up our camp perfectly without blinding us. It's not a super bright light, and while Emily is under the awning actually acts as a little bit of a shade from the light in her face. So all in all, like, that right there seems to be the perfect situation for camp. You can really see how much light the Light Ranger is throwing at our camp. Now we only have it on low, so everything on the back side of the Light Ranger is not lit up, but everything in the front towards camp is quite impressive. There's the Light Ranger 1200 on high, lighting up our camp and lighting up everything around our camp. Now the cool thing about it having omnidirectional light like this is you can place it anywhere you want, and you can already see, I mean, I don't want to burn your eyes out here, but you can already see it's attracting bugs away from camp and towards the light. Now that's exactly why DEVOS made the Light Ranger stands go up as high as they can. The Light Ranger is also throwing light at my shoes from that height. You can kind of see these are black shoes with white socks, and I'm going to give you one more look at camp with that thing off at that height so you can really see the difference of how much light this thing is throwing out compared to without it. See that I'm super duper lit up. I am full resolution. As I move away from Emily and camp, you can kind of see camp, the whole scene behind me gets really, really dark. I mean, here we are with me in front of the camera, and everything behind me here is pitch black. Just want to show you the view from inside camp, and you can kind of see there are bugs swarming, the light there. But if you move it just outside your awning, it lights up everything around your camp. And then Emily and I get an amazing view of just darkness. Super stoked. But enough of that. We're gonna actually wrap it up for the evening, go to bed, and we'll see you guys in the morning. There we go. It's 9:15 in the morning. We turned on the fridge last night at 6:30 p.m. So now we're gonna check her out and see how much power she's drained from the EcoFlow. I do have the fridge on eco mode here, and we're gonna see how much juice we got left. 61%. Here we go, it's kind of hard to see. 61%. Now, I'm gonna be completely honest with you guys. The ARB fridge we had in here before was not as efficient in terms of rating. And overnight, we'd be down to 30 or 32% on the EcoFlow in just one night with even less hours. We turned this bad boy on at 6:30 p.m. So from 6:30 to 9 is about, 15 hours? And 15 hours of running that fridge at 27 degrees. And even last night out here, it was pretty warm. It wasn't a cold night. we're at 61%, which is fantastic because I could actually recharge the EcoFlow with the car battery while I drive, or throw solar on it if I'm gonna stay at camp, and we can get that EcoFlow back up to 100%, and that definitely extends our camping time with this fridge. Now is a good time for you to hear the compressor when it turns on. Here we go. That compressor is pulling between 35 and 51 watts as it's on, which, I mean, obviously it cuts down the amount of hours we have left on the EcoFlow, but for it to hover around 9 to 12 hours left while it's on like eco cooling mode is still quite impressive. To have that much juice left in our battery pack overnight, we've never had this before. So I don't even know how much we need to upgrade our power system, because this has been quite an impressive amount of power left over for the morning. Thank you for following us all the way through to the end of this video. We're now back home at my place, and now it's time for us to give you guys a little bit of a discount for these products if you're still interested. DEVOS is offering of 10% off anything they sell on their website by using code COOLGUY at checkout. I hope this doesn't sound too pitchy, but realistically, this has been the most impressive camp light I've ever used in my life, and I will never go camping or even on a day trip again without this light, because I love it so much. In fact, I might go buy another. Having the motion sensor when we get in and out of our rooftop tent, having the amount of light throw to allow vision for us and our dogs at camp is freaking amazing. So if you are in the market for a camp light, highly recommend getting one of these bad boys, 10% off with code COOLGUY. The ICECO fridge has been a game changer in terms of power usage. Yeah, it keeps our food cold just like every other fridge freezer does. It allows us to open it up any way we want. It charges our devices while we're charging the fridge. And on top of that, the rack system in it allows us to be super duper versatile with how we store and pack our food. This little box, even though it's smaller than our old ARB, has now released a whole new world of opportunities for us to go camping. It uses less power than our old fridge. It allows us to stay out longer. Paired with the ICECO 250 watt battery pack, this thing we did not recharge, and we inflated and deflated 2 mattresses. We charged our phones. We used this for our speaker, and we're coming home with 96% power on this bad boy. It's tiny, but it packs a huge punch. And really, this is the first time for us pushing products on the channel. We've never had any sponsor lean in and give us affiliate links, and to be honest with you, if a product is junk, we're probably gonna say no. In fact, one of the awnings we're reviewing right now is complete dog shit, and I'm gonna make a video telling you not to buy that. But these 2 products, I can 100% say you should buy, and if you're interested in buying, make sure you use the codes at checkout. COOLGUY for 10% off at DEVOS, COOLGUY12 for 12% off anything ICECO related. That's going to be it for this video. If you really enjoyed it and you want to see us do more Sequoia adventures or product reviews or anything like that, drop us a comment and let us know. If you want us to see more RAV4 or Corolla content, let us know, and we will actually go and we will make content around these 2 cars for you right now. Other than that, thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you guys on the next one.